travelers, welcome back to the Traveling Cheesehead. I'm Cheesehead Girl. I'm so happy you found me today. I'm excited to share with you my recap from my recent Aruba trip. If we are meeting for the first time and you've never been to my channel, welcome. This channel is about you, the independent traveler. You want to go and take your own journeys and plan your own trips. You're just maybe not sure how to do that. And I'm going to share with you my journeys, my travels, and all the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, so you don't have to do all the work that I've done. If this sounds like you, consider subscribing now. So if you've been watching my channel, you know I have a whole series on my trip to Aruba. And today I want to recap my final thoughts on my trip to Aruba, what I felt about the choices I made, how everything worked out, and maybe some things I would do or not do differently next time. First of all, it all starts way back at the beginning of our accommodations. We had the choice of, different Airbnbs, and we did a lot of research on where to stay, what areas of the island to stay on, and we settled in Nord, which was about 10 minutes off of Palm Beach. Palm Beach is the huge touristy area with all of the big resorts and everything like that, but it also has a lot of the restaurants and bars and activities and nightlife. So it was important for us to kind of be near to that because we knew in the evening we'd want to stroll along where the action was. And it ended up being an excellent choice. Our Airbnb was beautiful. If you want to check out my video of when we checked in, it's right here. But definitely check that out. It was a beautiful, beautiful condo, brand new. It was attached to the Oak restaurant. Funny story, never actually ended up eating there because we were always out at night and they were pretty fully booked with reservations. From what I understand, it's very, very good. You do need reservations, but it's a small restaurant. It's very tiny and it's right at the front of this condo complex that we stayed in. They were doing a lot of building nearby, building additional buildings and everything like that, and it's going to be a gorgeous complex when it is all said and done. So thumbs up on our choice for Airbnb. All right, one of the next things we had to decide was on rental car places. There are a million choices when you come to rental cars. You have our staples, Avis and Budget and Hertz, and all of those are on pretty much every island you go to in the Caribbean. But then they also have their local choices as well as the European brands. We needed to decide what route we wanted to go. And we have found, generally speaking, that the local guys tend to be the best ones to deal with. They offer a little bit better service. They're not operating a franchise, and usually the owner is very heavily involved in the process, so it makes for a really great experience. In this case, we chose Yes Car Rental. Ricardo was amazing to work with. He met us at the airport as we landed. We filled out a little bit of paperwork and we were on our way within like 10-15 minutes of getting off the plane, versus going to one of the rental, more traditional rental car places where you have to go either on-site or off-site to their office, fill out a whole bunch of paperwork, and get pressured into all kinds of add-ons and things like that. That's not really our scene. Some people, though, if you have a membership with them or you're a preferred traveler, sometimes that's the way to go if you trust them and that's your comfort level. The way I gauge who we're going to go with is their response to my questions ahead of time. I always 100%, even Airbnbs, everything, I contact them ahead of time and ask questions and kind of test the waters, if you will, to see how responsive they're going to be. Because if they're not responsive when they're trying to get my business, I can only imagine how unresponsive they're going to be when they already have my business. So that's a good gauge if you're trying to figure out who to work with. Go with the people that tend to be more responsive, answer your questions and take time, and don't seem like they're being bothered by you. You're a potential customer about to be paying them a lot of money for service. You want to make sure you're getting the right thing from them. Next up, we had to figure out where we were going to go shop. Now, we had done our research on Ling's or superfoods and had really no preference amongst the people who have gone to both. And so we thought, we would try to go to both. Well, on our way to our condo, we literally drove right by Superfoods. So that ended up really being our go-to. Funny part of it is we drove around the island pretty extensively throughout our stay. We never once passed by Ling's. And if we did, we didn't know we passed by Ling's. So we loved Superfoods. It was very modern, clean, well-appointed, tons of food choices. The prices were reasonable. Of course, they're higher on an island because you're on an island, but they had a nice bakery, they had a nice deli, they had, a great meat department, everything. So they even had an alcohol store, which was comparable to what you could get at the airport in duty free. So all of those things added up to being a really great shopping experience for us. The only thing is if you are flying in on a Saturday, you do not want to go there around 5 o'clock. That seems to be the peak day that everybody is arriving, or at least the locals also are shopping, because it was super, it was a madhouse when we got there. So it took us a long time to actually do our shopping the first day because so many people were there. Next thing is we knew we wanted to go explore Arashi National Park. And there were a few different options for us to do that. One option is to take a Jeep safari because there are areas of that park that are only accessible via four-wheel vehicle, and we wanted to make sure we got to see as much as possible. So that is one option. You get on a safari Jeep, you're with a bunch of people, there's somebody else driving, they take you through the park. The second option was for you to go on an ATV or UTV tour where you're in a smaller group, you're driving your own vehicle, but you're following on a tour. And then finally is to find your own dune buggy and rental and go it on your own. So as you know, we decided to go it on our own, and I will tell you, it was quite a great experience. Ricardo at Yes Car Rental also had dune buggies for day rentals, and the cost was about the same as if we had gone on a 4-hour tour that was guided. Now, obviously, there's always adventure that comes along with doing it on your own. My husband and I had never driven a dune buggy before, so that probably was something that we should have maybe thought of before we rented our own. We had a little bit of a learning curve, and when it came to filling up the gas, it was hard to tell how much gas was in the vehicle. And so we were driving around all day, and then all of a sudden realized that we were almost out of gas. We had no idea how close the closest gas station was to the condo and to the national park when we were driving. So we almost ran out of gas. Then we get to the gas station and we can't figure out how to remove the gas cap to fill our gas. It was an adventure. We called a guy over, just a local, just asked him, please help us. We are helpless right now. And he helped us get the gas cap off, and we filled our gas, and everything was fine, but it was quite comical to begin with. But we really enjoyed it. We drove around the whole park. We were probably the most timid dune buggy drivers ever. We got muddy, we got dirty because there were some puddles from a rainstorm the day before. But we found the one natural pool. We never found the other one. I know there's supposed to be another one somewhere. We never came across it. And even the main natural pool is kind of difficult to find. There's signs that mark it along the way a little bit, but then you come to a point where there's no signs. You just kind of go and hope you're headed in the right direction. The maps only help so much. The national park is very arid. It's very desert-like, so there's not a lot of kind of landmarks to orientate yourself and figure out which direction you're going. So you do have to just kind of figure it out. The good news is there's so many tours that are going to the main natural pool that you can find it, you can figure it out, because you just kind of follow everybody else and you end up there. But we had a great day on our dune buggy. I would highly recommend Yes Car Rental and Ricardo. They dropped it off at our condo, picked it up when we were done. It was a great day. We had so much fun with it, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Okay, so in the national park, another thing we wanted to do is find Dos Playas, Boca Preen, and all the other stops along the way, the gold mines, everything like that. So we found a sign that said Dos Playas. We never actually made it to Dos Playas. We parked, we got out, we walked for quite a bit and never found it. I think we needed to keep going and we would have eventually gotten to Dos Playa. We drove a little further and ended up at Boca Preen. But when we were at Boca Preen, because we had just seen the sign for Dos Playa, we actually thought we were at Dos Playa, that we just couldn't see the other side. So Boca Preen was beautiful as well, and there's a little restaurant and bar just across from where you go walk down to check out Boca Preen. So that's a good thing to know. And as you round the corner is where you see all of the huge windmills that are generating power for the island. So that was also very cool. So Aruba has no shortage of beaches, as any Caribbean island, right? So we had to kind of pick and choose which ones were the most important for us to go to. We decided that we definitely wanted to do Palm Beach because that's where all the activities, the hub, everything is there. We really wanted to go see Eagle Beach and spend a day there because it is rated as one of the top beaches in the entire world. And then there were a couple other beaches that came highly recommended around the island. My favorite was Baby Beach. It was it's very close to San Nicolas, and so we actually coupled it with our day down on that end of the island and really enjoyed it. It was calmer, quieter, there weren't as many people. There were facilities, there were a couple restaurants and chair rental places and things like that, but it was such a relaxing day. We found this beautiful spot underneath a tree and the waves are crashing up on us. It was beautiful. It was just a superb day. So Baby Beach was absolutely my favorite. We also went to Arashi Beach, which is very close to the California Lighthouse, and that also was a much calmer beach as far as not being busy. There are facilities there as well, and but the waves are calmer and it's quiet there. While we were there happened to be a tropical storm that was passing north of the island that kicked up the surf quite a bit, and because of that, Eagle Beach was really not swimmable the day we were there. I kind of walked down and let the waves hit me and stuff, but it was quite a strong current, huge waves crashing up on the beach. They actually had the flags out saying that you shouldn't go in the water. So, the day at Eagle Beach, while it was still a very pretty beach, because the surf had been so rough for a couple days, there was a lot of seaweed on the beach and it was a little torn up, more so than probably it would be normally. So I can't say that I enjoyed Eagle Beach, but at the same time, I don't think I was there at the best time to enjoy it. So maybe not fair. Palm Beach, we went there several times because, of course, our condo was 10 minutes away. But even there, when the surf was super high, some of the restaurants that are out on the piers were closed. We had portions of the beach that flooded. If you watch my video on Eduardo's, you'll see that we absolutely got flooded the one day that we were sitting on the beach. But Palm Beach was really nice. There's a lot going on there, a lot happening. The beach is very nice. There's a ton of palapas and things like that. You just have to kind of pick and choose the time of day that you're going there. We were there during a time of year that didn't seem to be as busy, so there were plenty of palapas and nobody was coming in hassling us. If you want to use the chairs that are there, then you have to pay for them. But from our experience the entire time on the island, we never got hassled for anything. We had our own chairs, so we never needed to use the services at all from the chair guys or umbrella guys. We just would find an empty palapa, plopped on our own chairs and sat there. So that's a good tip if you don't want to be paying for a palapa. I imagine in higher season, those palapas are probably really packed, so then you might need to pay for one, but not at the time of year we went. We were in October. Okay, so another adventure thing that we wanted to do was to climb Hooiberg. So Hooiberg is the haystack, or the tall kind of mountain that you see from everywhere. And we really wanted to climb it. We wanted to go check it out because we heard it gave really great views. Now, we happened to plan it on a day where it had been raining on and off all day, so that ended up being perfect for us because I would not want to climb that in direct sun. It's a hike. It is quite the workout. You can see in my video here that I absolutely was losing my breath and huffing and puffing, and I'm in pretty good shape. I play volleyball, I run and do stuff like that, so I wasn't afraid to climb it, but let me tell you, it was a hike, and you gotta be prepared for it. Definitely wear tennis shoes and workout clothes because you're gonna be sweating by the time you're done. The nice part was it was overcast the whole time we were climbing, and then on the way down we actually got pummeled with rain. So as much as we were all sweaty and everything, we ended up almost getting a nice little nature shower on the way down to cool us off. But we had a great time. It absolutely had beautiful views of the entire island. It was really kind of cool to climb up there. We did not count the steps, and it has different countings on there, so there's different people who have different versions of how many steps are there. I believe they said there was like 582 steps is what I've read online, but it was a hike, but it well worth it. So nearby Hooiberg are some of the RA rock formations, which originally wasn't on our absolute have to go see it list, but because it was nearby and it was the same day that it was kind of raining on and off, we knew we weren't going to the beach, so we thought, well, why not? Let's go see how those are. And those are really cool. They ended up being one of my favorite stops on the whole trip. It was quiet, there was nobody there, it was deserted, and so we got some really good pictures from there. We got to really explore it. It's not a climb like Hooiberg is. You do have to take some steps to get up to where they are, but it's nothing like Hooiberg. Hooiberg is like a hike, where this was kind of like a leisurely walk. But it was really cool, and I highly recommend it. If you get to go see the rock formations, definitely go. Well, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2, where I recap the rest of my visit, including San Nicolas, Renaissance Island, my trip to Zerovers, Eduardo's, and other great food stops, as well as the nightlife and my very favorite, which I'll leave you hanging on. Stay tuned to next time. I hope that if you like content like this and you like what I'm sharing with you, you go ahead and subscribe, hit the big thumbs up, smash that like button. That way I know that you like it. Please leave comments below. I can only deliver content that's meaningful to you if you let me know what you want to learn. I am happy to share all of my tips, my tricks, trials and tribulations along the way, but I need to know from you what you are looking for. I hope you enjoyed my trip to Aruba. I hope you are planning your own. Let me know what questions you have. I'd be happy to give you some advice and help. Well, Travel Nation, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, travel safe.